Hello everyone. This is MK Arias 1 with my first video. I'm gonna go over three stocks for today, and this is Friday evening, July 26th. So let's just jump right into this. I want to keep this video as short as possible. Okay, we're going to look at the S&P/Y here. As you can see, this week it hasn't really done anything. It stayed in a very tight range, pretty much trading between almost 170 and the low was about 167.52. So it's a very tight range here. I put in a indicator here, support line of 167. As long as S&P just stays above 167, I think it can go higher. However, I really believe that we're limited in how high the S&P can go, but it's tough to be short on the S&P. This market is so unpredictable, and with the market basically addicted to QE, um, who knows where it's gonna stop. I mean, if you go further back, it's just insane, the way that this market has gone. But I really do think that at some point we're gonna have some type of correction. So I am looking for this 167 as support. If it does break, of course you have the 20-day moving average about 166, but honestly I think we can really see more realistically to 164 or so, which is the 50-day moving average. As you can see, the RSI is flat to slightly declining, indicating this top um, that's basically forming here. As you can see, it's already broke down the 8-day moving average, so it will be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of trading days. I do want to show this other chart. I use the Ichimoku cloud. It's one of my favorite indicators here. So again, not much to really go by here. The price is above the cloud, so that's all positive. The only negative that I see, I also used the MACD, is, as you can see, it's declining, and also you can see that these uh, moving averages are getting tight here, so that's something to see if they converge. It looks like they are, so well, we'll see what happens next week. Next stock we're going to look at is Apple. I do not have any position in Apple, but I know it's a very popular stock, whether you love it or hate it. So I'll just go over what my interpretation of where Apple is heading. Um, so let's get right to it. Based in the cloud here, as you can see, just going back a few weeks, going back into June or so, it broke the cloud um, back on June 19th, hit pretty much the low of 388.87, and then has stayed there for a bit. Uh, the lower span of the cloud was acting as resistance, and it did break into resistance back in mid July, and then it was in the cloud. And anytime you see price in the cloud, that's considered neutral territory. So you can see that it dropped here, but this resistance level, that previous resistance level, was now acting as support. It broke down. However, earnings, as you know, was announced. The stock gapped up. Now, as you can see, this Fibonacci level that I drew here, now this about 435 level is now which is a 30%, is acting as support. So as long as the stock stays above 435, I think it can go higher. I don't think this 446 Fibonacci level is any type of strong resistance. So we can possibly see 466 in the next few weeks, but it's hard to tell with Apple. It's really unpredictable. So just let your support levels be your guide. Let's take a look with the moving averages. I had this line drawn here, this downward trend. I also had this other level that was acting as support. Um, I've been following Apple for a very long time, so I drew this support line, which it did act as support for for a few weeks. Then the stock broke down, and again, as I indicated earlier, hit the low. Then the support became resistance, as you can see right there, and finally it broke up for a little bit, broke back down, and then it touched the 20-day moving average before gapping up. So the good news is that it did break this downward trend line right here. So I like to see this consolidate a bit, and then possibly first target is probably 456 before again going to 466. Um, the next stock I want to take a look at is Safeway. Safeway I do have a position in, and this is one that I bought some August 27 calls based on actually some unusual option activity back in July 19th. 7,500 contracts were bought to open, um, versus an open interest of 652 at that time. That day, 9,000 contracts traded. Currently, there's about 8,500 contracts in open interest. But anyhow, going back, I did send out a tweet on July 23rd stating that a bull flag was forming here, and it looks like it's going to break out. So the bull flag, it looks like it's being confirmed. So again, I have these Fibonacci levels here. The 50% level, which is the about 25.32, is acting as support, and it's taking the bounce. So we can easily take the 26. 2660 will be the first level that I would see as resistance. Then this 2735, and finally the 2842 or so will be the next resistant level. So Safeway is slowly grinding. I do want to see this above, close above the 8-day, or the low go above the 8-day. Now with the Ichimoku cloud, same thing. Um, the upper span of the cloud is acting as support, the bounce. As long as it breaks this about 2660 level, which is, as you can see, is the downward trend, we can possibly see the 28, what was the high here, 2842 level. And that's basically it. I know the MACD is showing uh, that it's declining, so that's something to definitely keep in mind, and I am watching that closely. So uh, that's basically it. Actually, let me see on the weekly. This is what the weekly looks like. Um, just some support at 2234, and again, if we have a trend line right around here, uh, if we could break that line, we can definitely see those highs. But thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comments, definitely feel free to send me a tweet. And again, this is my interpretation of the charts. Please do your own due diligence. This is not a recommendation to buy or sell these individual stocks mentioned. Thank you very much and have a good night.